This poem is definitely interesting because it has a deeper and relatable way to reach the reader. And the way she just writes what she feels without any words rhyming is different for a poem. The title of this poem, Justify Appearance and Look, and that is what the poem is talking about. When I first read the poem, I didn't get it because the poet talks through the eyes of the mirror, but I loved how straightforward the poem is. This poem's subject is about appearance and how it can rule the person's attention and mind. Due to that, the author used a negative tone because of what she gets to describe, which is herself. And that is why she has a more of a negative tone, and how appearance rules her thinking. Furthermore, I think the main purpose of this poem is in which how important the way people view themselves, and it is similar to what experts think, as they thought the central purpose was to explain how people can look at themselves and not really see the whole picture about their true identity. Plath in this poem talks about her past appearance and how it changes with time. She wrote this poem in 1961 but wasn't published for another 10 years. Plath in 1961 lived in London at 3 Charlotte Square near the Primrose Hill of Regent's Park and just finished her autobiographical novel. In the end of 1961, Plath's husband, Ted Huffs, cheated on her with a beautiful Asia Weevil, and I think that reflected on Plath in the way she viewed herself and maybe inspired her to write this poem. The form of this poem is divided by stanzas into two distinct aspects of a mirror, the actual mirror and a lake. Mirror is a poem that is written in a free verse, which means rhyming words is not necessary, and that contributes to a better understanding what is the poet trying to say. The poet chose particular words that almost all revolve in the same idea and somehow relate to each other. The collection of verbs that she chose in this poem indicates that she's trying to find something, or her true identity. In this poem, the poet compared the old woman, which symbolizes herself, with a terrible fish. Metaphor is also included in the poem, as the poet used metaphor in Now I'm a Lake. Personification is used so much in this poem because of the main subject of the poem, which is the mirror, in which the poet gave it a lot of human-like qualities. And let's not forget about the mood of this poem, which is bleak and woeful. The point of this poem is much deeper than it seems. The poet obviously struggled to accept the way she's starting to look over the years and wrote this poem to maybe ease on herself and let it all out, and to inform people that this is a common problem and that can inspire readers, maybe not in a direct way, to just write what they feel in the eyes of whom they want. As I mentioned before, the poem obviously has a deeper meaning, but when I started to analyze and research more about it, the meaning got even deeper and clearer. People to this day struggle to accept who they are or what they look like, and that what the poet is mainly talking about. So I don't think the struggle that comes with self-accepting is going anywhere in the future. Self-accepting is very hard to apply, so this poem will be relevant even after 100 years. And that relativity draws so many people to this poem. Therefore, this poem is still famous even after 4 decades.
Created using Powtoon.